My name's Gaffney. I'm the Executive Director of Regulatory Policy and Intelligence for Politico's AgencyIQ. At AgencyIQ, I oversee our research teams and functions. What I am singularly focused on is making sure that AgencyIQ subscribers get the best regulatory information, analysis, and intelligence delivered to them in a timely manner and with the best insights that they have available to make sure that they can do their job more easily. What brought me to AgencyIQ is simple. The idea that there were needs of regulatory professionals that were not being well met in prior to the advent and the creation of AgencyIQ. So what we immediately identified was there was a need for deeper information that started with how do things work now? How are things regulated? And part of that is not only to bring our readers up to speed, but to help our readers educate the core stakeholders that they have internally. We're covering pharmaceuticals, medical devices, diagnostics, biotechnology products, gene therapies, dietary supplement products, blood products. Basically, if it is a medical product or medical adjacent product at the FDA that it regulates, what's missing sometimes is what I like to call regulatory developments written by regulatory professionals for regulatory professionals. The people that we're trying to hire and do hire here are folks who have that hands-on experience working for life sciences companies and consulting companies where they've helped bring products to market. The folks on my team, many of whom have their RACs, regulatory affairs certification, or advanced degrees in science, that's one of the key differentiators is when you've actually worked on this sort of stuff from the company side, you can better understand how regulatory changes may affect other companies. There is so much that's changing in the regulatory sphere on a really regular basis. I think where our ambitions will take us next will be a reflection of what our subscribers want us to do. If you look at most organizations today, they don't necessarily have a chief regulatory officer. It's kind of subservient to a couple other roles. So I see the regulatory profession in general being elevated to a position of more importance within these companies. I'll put it a different way. I think historically, regulatory professionals have been seen by a lot of their colleagues internally as being kind of Dr. No. You know, you bring an idea to them and they say, oh, don't do that. That you couldn't possibly do that. I think where things are headed, though, is seeing regulatory as more of a partnership. It's not, don't do that, but think about ways that you can achieve your ends or your aims in a way that does meet the regulatory requirements or does meet the compliant, falls within the acceptable compliance risks for that company. The final thing as well, AgencyIQ does something that is, I think, truly a service to the overall profession. We put out newsletters on a regular basis. We have an FDA Today newsletter that comes out 4 times a week. We have an EMA Today newsletter that currently comes out once a week, but will soon be twice a week. These are free newsletters. These are things where we want to give away some information to anyone who wants to get it. Because again, we recognize how difficult it is for professionals to keep up with the regulatory environment. And our hope is that by getting more familiar with our work and what we do, that eventually folks are going to realize they'd love to become AgencyIQ subscribers. They have the budget, they have the interest, and they know and they trust us. But even if you don't have that, even if you're just starting off in the regulatory profession, maybe you're a new student who just graduated from a regulatory science program, or you're a new professional in the field and you're just getting your feet out kind of underneath you, we want to be able to help bring you up to speed on the key regulatory developments of the day and help you just become a little bit faster, a little bit smarter, and a little bit better so that you're ready to take on the challenges of tomorrow.